Wendy W. Productions presents a memoir, Sex, Love and Cops. My 5 years as a young cop in Melbourne, Australia. Written and read by Wendy Wilkins. To all the police around the world who keep us safe, and to my family and friends who support me in all my adventures. Prologue. I entered through the velvet rope, asking the bouncer if Frank was in tonight. The bouncer nodded a friendly yes. Inside, the music was pumping, immediately putting me in the mood to dance. I passed by the general section and made my way up to the VIP area. Frank was holding court with a couple of major men about town. The usual hangers-on were standing around, all trying to get a piece of Frank. Frank, always charming, so good-looking. I don't know how he did it every night, making small talk to hundreds of people, all wanting a piece of the most connected man in the city. Every celebrity that came into town, he entertained. They all wanted to come to the hottest club in town. I also happened to be a young cop, fresh out of the police academy. I didn't realize until years later what a turn-on apparently that was for guys. Something about a woman in uniform. Most men I meet, even until this day, when they find out I was a cop, ask me, "Do you still have your handcuffs?" The first time I used mine was on a 16-year-old girl who had spat on me, then tried to kick out the back window of the police car with her heavy boots and screaming, "I want IID." It was interesting that a girl of this young age knew the pseudonym for the Police Internal Investigations Department. My memories of handcuffs are not pretty or sexual in any shape or form. Chapter 1. The Police Academy. It was like boarding school. We all lived in these huge old buildings at the Mount Waverley Police Academy. It was unusual, but we had 5 girls in our squad of 25. Usually there were 2 or 3 at the most. My roommate Sarah, I thought, would make the perfect cop. She was smart, strong, fair and fun, and not taking herself too seriously. We got on well and became close friends. Recently, we caught up again when we happened to both be in London at the same time, and I got to meet her beautiful young adult daughter. Our room was on the 2nd floor, sparse, 2 beds, 1 on each side and a desk each, floorboards and a cupboard. We had a large window looking out over the manicured grounds to the front entrance and the guard gate. The boys, our squad mates, were always playing tricks on us. One time we came back to our small room and both our mattresses had disappeared. Another time I was walking down the hallway and 2 of my squad mates were walking towards me wearing my one-piece bathers over the top of their clothes and doing a mock fashion parade. I was furious. Apart from the fact that huge invasions of privacy were occurring, breaking into our room regularly, they were also stretching them, and that swimwear fit me perfectly. John. John was in the squad junior to me, blonde-haired, tanned and a surfer. I couldn't resist his cheeky, dimpled smile and cockiness. Despite the fact he wasn't tall, he was very confident. They had just lowered the height restrictions for cops' entry into the police force. We began stealing kisses and attempting to keep our new relationship under wraps. We had weekends off from the academy, and I remember him taking me home one weekend and meeting his very cool bohemian parents. The week before, my squad had been on a tour of the morgue to observe our first autopsy. John's father was doing some kind of carpentry work in the backyard, and when he turned on the chainsaw, I began to feel queasy and explained to John and his parents over lunch that sound reminded me of the morgue, the visit the week before when the mortician had taken out a chainsaw and began sawing the skull off a young corpse. The mortician then took the brain out and stuffed the skull back up with newspaper and said, "We will sew this back up later." I also mentioned that after I got over the first round of queasiness, I was quite fascinated to watch this process, and that it was funny that 3 of my male squad mates fainted, but none of the girls did. I don't think John's parents thought much of my lunchtime conversation. John and I got caught kissing once at the academy,
Sample complete. Ready to continue?